Expansion construction was the focus at Denver Stapleton Airport when Flight 402 landed on Friday, January 23, 1964. The plane carried the 1963 Time magazine Man of the Year, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. He arrived for an official civic consulting visit to Denver and Littleton, 3 days that still carry a lasting impression.
And I want to say what a great pleasure it is to be in the state of Colorado once more, and in this total community.
Fabulous Kim, Denver 95.
4:20 on a chilly Friday afternoon. Don't forget the construction detour at 6th Avenue and the Valley Highway. And the National Western traffic, it's on I-70 after the afternoon rodeo. We'll make the drive more fun with a little Bobby Darin and Chubby Checker. That's coming up.
When Dr. King came to town, it was just 2 months after President Kennedy had been assassinated. And a lot of people were still in shock about that.
It was pretty restrictive when it came to the minority communities. Certainly was not the top of the list for cities that would have been the welcoming cities that Denver is today. So I think that, you know, there was a lot of struggle in those years.
Denver was starting to get swept up in some of the controversy about the Vietnam War, but more than that, it was at that point in history, there was more concern about the civil rights movement. People in Denver didn't think we necessarily had a problem because, as I remember it, there weren't, it seemed like the black areas of town were kind of remote from the experiences of a lot of the city's movers and shakers. But Dr. King's visit, I think, helped increase awareness of the things that needed to be done to move toward the direction of equality.
But yes, you're right, there was somewhat of a redlining, and West Denver was pretty well designated. The Latino Hispanic area, the African American community was basically Northeast Denver, and some, you know, a lot of Hispanic like myself. North Denver was the Italian section.
Towns like Denver were important to the movement, partly because the movement was trying to indicate to the country that the issues that we had tapped into in the South were essentially national issues, and that wherever black and white people were gathered together in whatever numbers and proportions, the issues were real, reflected in different ways, expressed in different ways, but very, very real. And so Denver was a way of saying, and yes, even in Denver, out in the Rocky Mountains, there are issues there that need to be taken care of and dealt with and recognized.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had made a brief public stop in Denver speaking at Manual High School in 1959. He also keynote addressed the 12,000 members of the National Baptist Sunday School Training Conference in June 1962.
Certainly this is a faith that I have and many others as we work in this movement, the faith to believe that the problem can be solved. And I think that if we continue to move on with all of the forces that are now at work, that before the turn of the century we will have moved a long, long way toward a thoroughly integrated society. And I would say within 10 years most of the legal barriers to segregation will be broken down. Well, we're just working in general to break down the system. We still have segregated facilities in most of the southern states, and our specific plans are to work until all of these all of these segregated facilities are broken down. And we are working now in a very intensified sense in the area of voter registration, seeking to double the number of Negro registered voters in the South, and I think this will be one of the major movements in the next few months.
By 1964, the civil rights movement was in high gear, and Dr. King's stature had grown immensely. This made his January visit highly significant, Plus, it would be on official civic consulting business.
Somehow the Commission on Community Relations, Helen Peterson was then the director, received some word or some indication that he might be available to come to Denver. The Commission picked up on it. We made contact with him, invited him to come, agreed to pay at least, I think, some of his expenses, and put that in place.
There was a controversy over mortgage redlining around that time in Denver. There was also a controversy over, whether the schools were properly integrated.
I think there was a lot of issues around redlining as far as real estate is concerned, and some of the issues around that. And I think whether it was spoken or unspoken, I think there were definitely issues.